Hello friends, welcome back. In this tutorial, we are going to discuss Introduction to Assembly Language. In the previous tutorial, we understood what is programming. Programming is a way or a process of telling a computer what to do in a specific order. Programming language is a way of communication between programmers and machines. Different types of programming languages are there. They are low-level programming languages and high-level programming languages. Machine-level programming languages are low-level programming languages. Assembly-level programming languages are also low-level programming languages. High-level programming languages are divided into two types: general-purpose programming languages and specific-purpose programming languages. In the previous tutorial, we understood we can't use human languages to tell computer what to do, because computer doesn't know or understand human languages. It has its own language called as machine language or binary language. Machine language or binary language or a computer uses binary number system to represent data and information. So to communicate with computer or machines, we have to learn machine language or binary language. Machine language is a set of instructions or commands containing only zeros and ones. There are some advantages of machine language. They are: codes written in a machine language are directly executed by CPU or computer. Hence, code execution will be faster. We don't need any translation. It makes sense. If two persons, both of them know English, there will be no communication problem. Because if person A tells something in a English language, person B can understand because he knows English. If person B tells something in English to person A can understand because he knows English. So there will be no communication problem. Similarly, if a programmer knows machine language very well, if he tells something in a machine language to the computer understands that because computer knows machine language. It understands and replies back in a machine language, and as a programmer knows machine language, he can understand and do the conversation easily and efficiently without any problem. But there are some limitations of machine language. It is very difficult to write programs in machine language. It is very difficult to learn machine language. It takes too much time to write programs in machine language. We need to remember equivalent binary values for every command of that machine. It makes sense, right? Because as a programmer, if I have to tell to the computer perform addition of 2 and 2, then as a programmer, first I need to convert those decimal numbers to binary numbers. Of course, I have to convert 2 to the binary equivalent with respect to the computer. If computer is a 4-bit machine, then I have to convert it to 4-bit. If it is a 8-bit, I have to convert it to 8-bit. So I have to convert 2 to the binary equivalent. Then those binary numbers I have to give to the computer. As computer understands binary number system, it performs the operation on those binary numbers and gives the result back in binary only. As a programmer, I need to translate that binary number to the decimal number and understand whether it has given a proper result or not. And I need to understand what are the vocabulary of that computer. Then I have to write everything in zeros and ones. I have to write the complete program in zeros and ones. What if we can be able to give the decimal numbers only to the computer? Let the computer convert or translate those decimal numbers to binary number itself and perform the operation, and then convert the result back to decimal number and give it back to us. It makes our life easier, right? It makes our life easier. We just need to give the decimal numbers and computer gives us the output in decimal numbers. That makes our life easier. What if instead of writing the program in zeros and ones, if we can be able to write codes in English-like statements and give it to the computer and let the computer give us result back in English-like statements, it makes our life easier, right? So, to overcome some of the limitations of a machine language, assembly languages are designed. In this tutorial, we are going to discuss about assembly languages. Assembly languages are second generation languages. Assembly language is a set of instructions or commands containing symbolic codes or mnemonics. Assembly language contains set of English-like commands. Here you can see we have a sample code written in an assembly language for a hypothetical machine. There are some advantages of assembly language, like assembly language contains English-like commands, easy to remember, easy to code, easy to understand, less error prone. But there are some limitations of assembly language, like we know that computer knows only machine language. It understands everything in zeros and ones only. Then how we can give this English-like statements to the computer and let the computer execute? So there are some limitations. Those are assembly language codes are slower because we need translation. What is that we understand in this slide? Let's take, we have two persons, person A and person B. Person A knows only English, person B knows only Hindi. If person A tells something in English language, person B can't understand because person B knows only Hindi language. If person B tells something in Hindi language to person A can't understand because he knows only English. So there will be a communication problem. To remove this communication barrier, we need one more person called as person C, who knows both the languages, English as well as Hindi. If person A tells something in English, person C translates those English statements to Hindi statements and tells to person B. As person B knows Hindi, he understands those statements and replies back in Hindi only. Now, person C translates those Hindi statements to English statements and tells to person A. As person A knows English, he understands that. So now there will be no communication barrier. They can smoothly do conversation. Normally, person C is called as a translator in our real world. Translator responsibility is to convert or translate one language statement to another language statement, vice versa. Similarly, now we know assembly language, and assembly language contains English-like statements, so it is easy to write codes, easy to understand. Whereas computer knows only machine language. If we tell something in assembly language, computer don't understand that because computer knows only machine language. If computer tells something in machine language to us, we can't understand that because now we know only assembly language. Here also we have a same communication problem or a communication barrier, that is the language problem. To remove this communication barrier, translators are designed or developed. One of the translator is assembler. There are different types of translators we have, like compiler, interpreter. We are going to discuss about assembler here. Now what assembler does, let's discuss. Assembler knows both assembly language as well as the machine language. So as we know assembly language, if we tell something in assembly language, assembler translates those assembly language statements to machine language statements and gives it to the machine. As machine knows the machine language, it understands those machine language statements, performs the operation and gives replies back in machine language only. Now assembler converts those machine language statements to assembly language statements and gives us back. As we know assembly language, we can understand those statements and we do the conversation. Now here the assembler responsibility is to translate assembly level language statements to machine language statements, vice versa. Remember that assembler is a translator. It translates assembly level language statements to machine level language statements. As we have a translation step, assembly level languages are slightly slower. As we know now what is assembler, let's proceed and understand how do we write assembly level language code and give it to the computer and let the computer execute that. What process is going to be carried, we are going to understand. Of course, I cannot simply write assembly level code and give it to the computer. Before we write the assembly language code, we need to understand the architecture of the processor or architecture of the computer itself. That means first I need to understand what is the bit size of the computer. Okay, it is an 8-bit machine. I understood that. Then I need to understand what are the registers which are programmable, which registers are general purpose, available to programmers. First we need to know those things. Okay, there is a A register, its address is this. There is a B register, its address is this. There is a C register, its address is this, and those are programmable. Now we know that also. After that we need to know the tokens of that computer itself or vocabulary of that computer. So here 0001 indicates the load command, then there is a add command, there is a print command available with respect to this computer. After that we need to understand how to write instructions for this computer. So we need to understand the syntax of the load command, understand the syntax of the add command, understand the syntax of the print command. After that we are going to write the code or a source code. So as we know now the architecture and we know the commands available, few commands we have here. Maybe this machine has hundreds of commands. To write this code, write addition of two numbers, we need these 3 commands. So I have listed here. So there is a proper format. Instructions are divided into 3 different parts. First we need to write the opcode, then we need to write address 1, then we need to write either value or address 2. So that instruction format also we have to understand. Then we need to write the code. First instruction is load 2 into A register. Next we have another instruction written, load 2 into B register. Then we have written another instruction, add the value in register A, value in register B, put the result in register A. Then print value in the register A. That is what we have written a code with respect to this architecture. Then we give that code to the assembler. So what assembler does means, it is going to convert assembly level language statements to machine level language statements. That means it converts our assembly language code to machine language code so that the computer can execute that. So what it does, let's understand. Assembler takes the first instruction, it converts that to the machine code. Load has the machine equivalent 0001. You can see that it has placed here 0001. Then it understands that register A has the address 00000001. It places here. Then it converts the decimal number 2 to the binary number and it places here. Then assembler takes the next instruction, converts that also to the machine code. Load equivalent is 0001. It places here. And then it places the address of the register B, that places here. Then it converts the decimal number 2 to binary number. Then it takes the next instruction, converts that also to the machine code, and we know that add binary equivalent is 0101, so it places here 0101. Then it puts the address of the register A, puts the address of the register B. Then it takes the next instruction, converts that also to the machine code. So print has the binary equivalent or machine equivalent 1010. It places that, then puts the address of the register A. After that, once everything is converted to the machine code, computer or a CPU or processor is going to execute those machine codes one by one. It takes the first instruction. It understands that you are telling me to load at this address this value. So computer takes that value, puts that in the specified register or the address. Then it moves to the next instruction, reads that load at this address this value. It understands that, takes that value, puts that into the specified address or the register. Then computer moves or processor moves to the next instruction and performs the operation. It is, we have told it to add value at this register, value at this register. So it adds both of these values and puts the result in the specified register or the address, and the result will be 00000100, that is actually 4. Then computer moves to the next instruction and execute that. We are telling to the system or a computer to print a value at this address. So what computer does? It prints the value at that address, but we know that there is an assembler in the middle. What assembler does? It actually converts that return result, which is in a binary, to the decimal number 4 and prints that on the screen. That is what the assembler does, guys. You can see that we have given code to the computer in English like statements, and computer has given us a result back in English format only. This makes our life easier. We need not to worry about converting. We just write the code in English like statements, give it to the assembler, and everything happens behind the scene, and we get the result back in English like statements magically. That makes our life easier. Slight disadvantage is, of course, as we have a translation process, the code will be executed a little bit slower. That's what we have here. Let's understand few more limitations. A statement possible to write in single line in a high-level programming language may spread over many more lines in an assembly level programming language. In the next tutorial, actually we are going to discuss about high-level programming languages. High-level programming languages are more programmers friendly, whereas low-level programming languages are more machine friendly or computer friendly. In a high-level programming language, if we can be able to write something in a single line, that might spread many more lines in an assembly level programming language codes. Hence, assembly level programming codes are tedious, time consuming, and if we make any changes in one place, then it might affect to some other places also. It is very difficult to create real world entities like data structures. It is very difficult to represent real world entities in assembly languages, whereas we can represent data structures or real world entities easily in high level programming languages. Assembly level programming languages are also platform dependent like machine level programming languages. That means a code written in an assembly level language for one machine won't get executed on another machine. Let's understand that here. You can see that to perform addition of two numbers on this computer, we have written this code in the assembly language. I cannot take this assembly level language code, give it to another computer to perform the addition of two numbers. It is not possible, because with respect to this computer, here I have another computer which is manufactured by maybe some other company. It is also 8-bit computer only, but it has some other registers. Instead of register A, B, here we have register R1, R2, R3. You can see that this computer has some other architecture, and also you can see the vocabulary for this computer or the manual of this computer is slightly different. Instead of the load operation, here we have MVI operation. Instead of the print command, for this computer we have display command with respect to the assembly language. And for MVI, the machine equivalent is 1101. Of course, this code won't work on this computer. So we have to modify the assembly code with respect to another computer, and then we have to give that assembly language to that computer to execute. Assembly language codes are platform dependent. First, we understand the architecture of the processor. Here I understood the architecture of this computer or the processor, that it is a 8-bit computer. Here we have register R1, R2, R3, and we have different commands MVI, add and display. Now we are going to write the assembly level language code like this. Move immediately to the R1 register. Move immediately to the R2 register. Add the values in R1 and R2 registers and put the result back in R1. then display the value in register R1. That is what we have the code here. This is a source code for this computer. Now this source code we can give it to the assembler that is meant for this computer. So assemblers will be different for different platforms. Okay, so every manufacturer are going to have their own assembler for their computers. Okay, next the assembler is going to convert these assembly statements to machine code. So MVI has a binary equivalent 1101, so it places here 1101, then it places the register 1 address, then it converts the decimal number 2 to binary number, then it moves to the next instruction, converts that also to the machine code. So MVI is again 1101, puts the register 2 address, converts the decimal number 2 to binary, then the assembler takes the next instruction, convert that also to machine code, add binary equivalent is 0101, it places that here, then puts the address of the register 1, put the address of the register 2, then it takes the next instruction, convert that also to the machine code. So display has the binary equivalent 1010, so it places here 1010, that is a opcode, then puts the register 1 address. Once the machine code is generated by the assembler, then the computer or a processor is going to execute those statements one by one. So move immediately this value at this address. You can see that the computer is going to place that value in the specified address. It takes that value, puts that in the specified address, puts that in the specified address, then computer takes the next instruction, executes that, move immediately this value at this address that we have already here, then it moves to the next instruction, perform the addition operation and puts the result back in this place, and the result is going to be 00000100. Then computer moves to the next instruction, executes the next instruction, that is display value at this address, and that is this value 000010. But actually, as we have assembler is going to convert that binary equivalent to the decimal equivalent, which is 4, and displays 4 on the computer screen. So remember that assemblers for every platform will be different. We have to write different assembly code with respect to the architecture, different source codes in assembly language. Hence, assembly codes are platform dependent. To overcome some of the limitations of assembler, interpreters and compilers are designed. We are going to discuss about interpreters and compilers in the upcoming video tutorials. So interpreters and compilers are actually used to convert high-level programming languages to low-level programming language codes. We discuss about them soon. Hope you guys have understood what is assembler, what it does, and what are the pros and cons. For this tutorial, this much is enough, friends. In the next tutorial, we get more information on programming language evolution. For more benefits, please subscribe, like, comment and share these videos to others. For more benefits, please subscribe, like, comment and share. Keep learning, keep coding, keep sharing.